Thank you. Good morning. It is great to be introduced by a legend. Thank you, Vardy. It is great to be back in the state of Israel, a country I first visited in 1989, and it is great to be at Cybertech. This conference is about how we build a modern technology-driven society, and this is my core message. We can only enjoy that kind of society if we build an architecture of security to surround and to protect it. We must anticipate security threats, not wait until they arrive, and we must build security by design into the products and services that our technology industries produce. And assembled here today are many of the world's leading technology companies together in the state of Israel, a country that has founded itself on an architecture of security. So it is no surprise that Israel has established itself firmly as a global leader in cybersecurity. We are going to need that leadership collectively because the cyber threat landscape is evolving quickly and in ways that require ultimate vigilance. These threats are transnational in nature. They transcend borders. They are aimed at disrupting and exploiting an integrated global technology ecosystem. I want to talk about how my department, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, is responding to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. There are no specific or credible threats to the United States at this time that we know of, but we are watching the situation closely. We have seen unprovoked attacks on Ukraine, including cyber attacks on Ukrainian government and critical infrastructure organizations. And we are vigilant, and we know well Russia's record of using irresponsible cyber attacks to achieve its global security objectives. Every organization, large and small, must be prepared to protect itself. DHS's team at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, is therefore spearheading an effort that we call Shields Up. We have created a publicly accessible playbook for what all organizations must do to protect critical assets, to reduce the likelihood of damaging cyber intrusions, to quickly detect potential intrusions, to be prepared should an attack occur, and to maximize resilience. We are cataloging and sharing a living repository of free services available from our government to organizations of all sizes, including small and medium-sized businesses, so that they can advance their security capabilities in response to this threat environment. We also, and I think very fittingly for where I am today with you, we must take on the cyber threat posed by Iran. It's an issue we know all too well together. Iran has reportedly launched cyber attacks in Israel against water utilities and other civilian targets. Iran has likewise engaged in state-sponsored cyber attacks against the U.S. and its critical infrastructure, including targeting the healthcare and transportation sectors. They have exploited flaws in prominent software to access sensitive systems that can then be leveraged for follow-on operations, including for data exfiltration, encryption, ransomware, and extortion. Our response, whether we're talking about Russia, Iran, criminal actors, or anyone else who is using cyber capabilities irresponsibly, our response must match the boldness of these sophisticated adversaries. Collaborative planning and cooperation with the private sector are prerequisites to building a robust national resilience to cyber threats. Our private sector partners are the frontline victims of malicious cyber activity, but they can also be at the front lines of leading our defensive efforts. I want to talk first about the software development community and the special responsibilities there. One powerful and proactive step that software developers can take is to incorporate security by design into their products. By embedding into software a baseline and minimum level of security for all users, companies like those represented here today can enhance our defenses. As software companies, you should be considering every day whether there are security features in your products that you can enable by default so that users are protected out of the box. One company's decisions can support the security of millions of individuals and companies. Product safety includes cyber safety. There is a corporate responsibility here. In the government, we bear a responsibility too. We must share the intelligence and capabilities that we have to protect the private sector. And the Department of Homeland Security in the United States is leading the effort to work with critical infrastructure owners and operators to protect their networks from attack. I want to talk to you about how we're evolving in that critically important mission. It is no longer enough to declare partnership between the government and the private sector. It's no longer enough even to share cyber threat information from one direction to the other. We are moving hard in the direction of operational collaboration between the government and the private sector. Companies and government must be working shoulder to shoulder every day, every hour of the year. And I want to share with you two of our signature initiatives at the Department of Homeland Security to accomplish that. First, we have formed something we call the Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative, the JCDC. The JCDC is an initiative that brings together our department and other U.S. departments focused on cybersecurity together with leading software, cybersecurity, and cloud service providers in the United States. We are collaborating every day on operational preparedness and operational response. We are using Slack channels, and we are in the trenches together defending this nation, bearing in mind that by increasing security at our leading technology providers, we are increasing security for every member of the public and every company and organization that relies on those providers. It is the ultimate force multiplier. Our second key initiative, and one that I was very pleased that our department announced just earlier in February, 1 month ago, is we inaugurated an organization called the Cyber Safety Review Board. The Cyber Safety Review Board brings together government and private sector leaders to review significant cyber incidents, identify lessons learned, and make recommendations to elevate cybersecurity. I am pleased to chair this board. The members of the board are luminaries in the field of cybersecurity. Half of the members are drawn from the U.S. government, and half of the members are drawn from our private sector. It is a true public-private partnership. I was delighted to convene the first meeting of the Cyber Safety Review Board last week in Washington to initiate the board's review of the Log4j vulnerability. Discovered in December, Log4j is one of the most dangerous software vulnerabilities we have ever discovered, period. The event raises critical questions about how we patch software, how we manage and respond as a community to significant vulnerabilities that are being exploited, and how we work to elevate security in the critical open source software ecosystem. When we conclude our review in May as a board, we will call out measures that public and private sector operators in the US, in Israel, and all over the world can take to improve their cybersecurity. What more can we do together, the US and Israel, in cybersecurity? Our cooperation is already deep and sophisticated. I have traveled to Israel to deepen that collaboration further, in particular with our good friends at the Israel National Cyber Directorate. I want to congratulate Gabby Portnoy for his recent appointment as Director General for the INCD. Gabby, I look forward to working with you and to meeting with you and to signing several agreements with you in just a few hours. Together, we will be signing agreements to conduct joint research and development, to enhance cyber resilience. We will also sign an agreement to focus on transportation sector cybersecurity. We will be focusing on research and development and joint efforts focused on aviation, on rail, on maritime security, on mass transit security, on gas and oil pipeline security. This is what it takes to get ahead of these threats. We have a lot of work to do together. It is my pleasure to be back in Israel, a country I first visited in 1989. You are a cherished technology partner. You are our indispensable security partner. Together, our countries are driving the development of a technology ecosystem that is innovative, groundbreaking, and secure. And at an event like Cybertech, what more can you ask for than that? Thank you very much. God bless Israel and the United States. It is great to be with you today.